Joey Jefferson Special.
My name is Robert Watson, the owner of Crown Quality Products, and I'm got some of my partners here today, good men around the city of Detroit, that we wanted to just talk and have a roundtable discussion about business and about where the rubber meets the road. So I just want to introduce you to some of my partners. First up, I have my friend Benjamin. I've known Ben for, I guess, what, it's been over 10 years. It's been a while.
Bit longer than that.
But longer than that, and he's been almost like a mentor to me. He's been in business. When I met him at his business at the Russell Bazaar, and I've learned so much from him. Mr. Stokes has been just such you'll hear his wisdom, and he has many stories, and he's the most joyous. Like he's not you'll never hear him say a negative word, and that's always what I admired about my friend Benjamin Stokes. So Benjamin Stokes III is here today with us. We have my brother I've known for, I guess, over 20 years now, since high school. And my brother Omar Raines. Omar has had a successful business that he's grew and sold, a printing business that it was like the biggest printer in the city. Like I asked Omar one time, I said, man, how are you giving those prices away? Like you beat everybody. He said, man, we was just breaking even to get people in the door. And then once we got in the door, selling them jobs. And this guy has a wealth of wisdom. In high school, a little tidbit on Omar. I think he was recruited by the government. I know you scored very high on some scholastic tests, SAT, and just did very well on the test, even though, you would rather ever see him in school. Now, yeah.
True facts.
His sister is also a genius too. So, and now he has a business called the Nacho Grill, which is just blowing up, like in the city of Detroit, in the surrounding suburbs. Like it's just blowing up. It's been featured on Channel 4, Channel 7, just all around there. And he's going to share some stuff with us today. I want to invite him. So, and then last but not least, we have my brother, Pastor Alonzo Bell. Pastor Alonzo Bell I've known for a very long time, going all the way back to college. I remember seeing Pastor Alonzo Bell. Well, he wasn't a pastor then. He was just Lons back then.
Yeah, Lord.
Or as we would call him, Mac Lons. Excuse me. But Bell just had a glow to him. I saw him sitting in the cafeteria with another guy, knew Keith, and they were like kind of like best friends back then. And I just said, who is this guy? This guy is like glowing like Bruce Leroy. Like, this guy he's dressed fresh and he was clean looking. And, he had his, we go to the party, he had his beard done up all slick and just a straight East Side Detroit guy. I mean, this was like 1999 and he was wearing pump waves. No, I'm just playing.
That was 92.
That was 92. But anyway, him and his wife, First Lady Keisha Bell, man, just excellent people. And he's doing a miraculous thing over here on the east side, right here on 111 Whittier. Pastor Martin Evers Baptist Church. This brother has real estate out the wazoo. I mean, buildings. I mean, just talking about it, we can go into testimony how you got that huge building and just a school and a girls program for at-risk young teen mothers, helping them raise their children so they can graduate from high school. I mean, he's just knows everybody, all the who's who in the city. People just love him, admire him, and him and his wife. And it's just a pleasure to have all these brothers as my friends. And really on the way here, I was touched that you brothers, man, took the time out to come. I know you all are busy, and to take the time out to come, it really touched my heart. And I want to say, man, God bless you. But I love each and every one of you, as you already know,
too,
man.
bro.
Yes, and, brother. It's a pleasure to be here.
And so we go. Thank you.
Before we move in, we somebody got to introduce you, man. I got to,
go
if y'all mind it. and to all y'all who don't know, this is brother Rob Watson. We've known each other, like he said, for many, many, many years, and he is the only black brush manufacturer in the country. And so when we met, we talking about I was glowing, he was glowing too, and we just hit it off just like that. We were both business minded, and we were both very studious and hard working, and we had our tunnel vision on about being successful.
Right.
And when we graduated college and all that stuff, we kind of continued to grow our friendship. And man, Rob has taught me so much about business before I got into business. And even now, whenever I run across something I may not know, I call Rob, see what he knows about it to guide me. And he's an expert at import, export. He goes to China. He has suppliers, he has interpreters, he got everybody on the ground. He got a successful brush company, and then he added on all these other aspects to his business. And you know, it's just a blessing to know you, man. And he helps so many people. He's helping anybody he can help. He came and helped and blessed our young girls with a scholarship to start their own business. So I got, 3 of my girls are in business right now that's in my program because of Brother Rob and Crown Quality Products. And so just wanted to make sure we give your intro, man. And it's much, much more we're going to learn about today.
3 out of every 4 brush raves in this country is due to this. Right here.
That's right.
I take it. But, we here today. And basically, I called all you brothers up. We want to have a powwow and to talk about business where the rubber meets the road. Mm-hmm. Get it from the horse's mouth. All of these men are, including myself, are currently in business and have been entrepreneurs. I'm talking about all of these gentlemen here have not worked for anybody in years upon years. Myself included. I know Ben, and I know. So we've all been in business for a long time, and we want to. I hear a lot of podcasts. I see a lot of things, and I said, yeah, that's good. I hear a lot of get rich quick stuff and stuff like this. Okay, all right, But to be in business and to stay in business and to consistently do it for you, it's not easy.
That's right.
To be in real estate, whatever it may be, even a lot of professions. But so I just wanted to talk about where the rubber meets the road, and we're just going to let it go where it goes. So I'm thinking, Ben, I'm going to start with you. In today's climate, like in today's market and everything, we just want to break the ice. Like, what do you think, like, or what are some keys in business that you've learned that keep you sustained in doing business?
Okay. I think the first thing that comes to mind, and one thing that I think is a common starting point, is customer service. Right. What's going to differentiate you from the rest? What you have, everybody has, or they'll say somebody got it down the street. Why do they remember you? And that's customer service. And one thing I remember saying, we had a couple employees and they were chit-chatting at the register. Customer came in, they're looking around. There's no greeting, violation.
Right.
There's no eye contact, violation. There's no movement and an attempt to stop the conversation that you're having and a customer's entered the room. The violation. I think 3 strikes you out, but they made quite a few.
Yeah.
But the one thing that came to mind, I had to go over to him and tell him one thing. Here's what I said. I said, if you think you are the most important person in the room, you need to be on the other side of this counter spending money.
Amen.
Right. So I had to, and I'm trying to give them a lesson about what's important, what sustains a business, because return customers will sustain you in lean times.
Right.
You earn them. You engrave in their mindset that you care, that you're courteous, that you're compassionate, that you're honorable in treating them because they're valuable. People who come to see me and people who come repeatedly to the business, I am humbled because they don't have to come here.
That's right.
That's funny you said that, because it almost brought me into tears, because I looked at some online orders, and I looked at the names. I said, I seen a lot of names we got certain people that'll buy from us like, man, every other week. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're reselling or whatever, but they'll buy, and so we just give them free stuff with them. Like, we appreciate you. We this, we that, and then we'll get emails back. We appreciate you. So one thing I learned was like, it's not just what you sell, but it's how you sell it.
There it is.
It's like, if I go to a high-end resort, and it's got all the high-end amenities,
right.
I want high-end customer service.
Come on, man.
If I'm selling a high-end comb, a high-end pop, whatever, a high-end blow dryer or something,
right.
I know they want a little more like, hey, I got the wrong one. Can I send it back? Oh, sure. And I got to be real. I got a lot of this from Ben. Like, starting out my business, I would go and just sit under Ben and soak up a lot of stuff, because Ben is a customer service guru. And he'll be like, Rob, the customer's always right. I'll be like, and I used to not understand that. Like, the customer's always right. But it's so true. It's like, you don't want to lose a customer.
That's it. No.
I learned how to turn around a negative customer. And if you turn around a negative customer, somebody that's disgruntled, they ain't going to be. And I remember a guy, he was like, man, this ain't right. Da, 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 da. I said, oh, well, well, if you do it like this. And I said, well, let me try to help you. Let me try to show you. Well, what about this? Well, you know what? Use it for a month. If you don't like it, send it back. We'll give you your money back.
There we go.
And this and that. This guy ended up emailing back and said, man, this is the best. You right. Then I noticed orders for this particular brush. It was a mohair brush. Just jump up in New Jersey, where this guy's from. Because he's telling people. When you win somebody that's disgruntled, or that's just, not necessarily disgruntled, but just abrasive.
Okay.
Difficult.
Yes, say that.
If you turn them around, it's just like, me, I've been in treatment centers and this and that, da da da. And I, and I used a little bit when I was younger. I'm alcoholic, I'm clean as up, but I'm saying, it's like they say, like the dope fiend, the crack, people smoke crack. The runners for the dope spot, when they go into treatment or AA, they're going to be the ones making the coffee. They're going to be the ones, the runners that go out and get you customers or whatever. So, okay, I'm getting off topic.
but it's relatable. It's relatable.
But and the thing that pointed out to me, and what both of you guys are talking about, and then we talked about this earlier about business. When you think about business, most people think you're gonna always be up. Right. You only think about the upside.
Right.
And there's times where it's gonna be lean. There's times where things not gonna go the way you want it to go. And that customer service, all those different things that you do for your customers to show them that you really appreciate their business, that's what's gonna keep you going when everybody else stops. Right. And so you gotta be humble enough to be able to know that a customer is worth satisfying.
Oh, come on.
Being a pastor of a church, I gotta deal with it as a business owner and a pastor, because without any members in the church, you ain't got no church. If you call yourself a leader, ain't nobody following you, then you really not a leader. Okay. And so you have to deal with people who have different perspectives, different mindsets, and you got to let them know that they are important and that you understand where they're coming from. And I've been able to turn a few people around. Like, matter of fact, I'm baptizing a young lady Sunday who we started out battling because in the church world and in our community, sometimes people start talking about it's a white Jesus and y'all worshiping the master's religion and all this different stuff like that. So I had to break down all of our biblical history as Black people and who we are in the Bible, and I was debating a lot, and so I was able to come up with facts. And hit her with it, and she would hit me back with something about the Canaanites and the languages, and then I hit her back with the Abrahamic studies and this and that, So, but before you know it, she had something going on in the nonprofit world. I went and I donated some money because she's doing something for the community. There it is. Even though we don't agree on a religious thing, but I know you're doing something to help our people. So I went over there and donated some money to her. She was surprised. Excellent. And then we continued to talk. And then, one day, she called me and told me, Pastor Bell, you know what? I think Yahweh is the real God. And then, so we was cool on that part. Right. And now she called me and said, I want to be baptized.
Yeah.
And so she coming in Sunday,
beautiful.
man. So that's a blessing.
Praise God.
Yeah, God
that's
is
a blessing.
good, man.
Yeah.
So, yep.
You know, customer service is a fascinating topic to me, you know, because it's so faceted and it means so many different things for so many different businesses, you know, and so, you know, I think that the two questions pertaining to customer service is, one, specifically, what is good customer service? And two, how do you make it systematic? You know what I'm saying? How do you systematize customer service? I mean, if you have an operation, take the natural grill. We're dealing with, you know, hundreds of people on a daily basis. How do you take a 30-second interaction with a person and make it memorable enough for them to say that was good customer service? Like, I pay attention to it. You know, I take places that have reputations for good customer service, like Chick-fil-A, and I'll go and I really would pay attention to my experience, engage, and say, does this meet up to what I've been hearing about the customer service standards? And if so, what made it a good experience for me? You know, you know, a lot of good customer service comes from, you know, people who are good with people. You know, you get good customer service experience from that person who was able to seem to have a genuine empathic connection with you, really take an interest in you personally.
Right.
Some people are just wired that way. It's hard to make that into a system that a bunch of people can follow. So I think it's important to really, regardless of what your business is, take the guesswork out of it for you and as well as, you know, like other people. You know, like specifically for us, you know, whenever a customer places an order, we make sure we ask the name because people like to hear their name. So when people get called up to the window, it's easy for an attendant to say, all right, you know, Ben, your order's up. You know, how's your day going? Things like that. But even the things like that, how's your day going? Like all of these are things that need to be spelled out, you know, because you only have a short amount of time. You know, customer service is sketchy, you know, and you just have I'm just fascinated by how people get these great reputations for customer service during what seem like such small interactions. You know, what's making a person like really register there, and it is a lot of the micro things that you do. You know, but you know, just really trying to figure out how to take that and make it systematic for your company. I think that's equally as challenging to figure out.
Quick flip is the name of the game. Like getting them in, like it's like I remember they'd say it sounds corny, but service with a smile. But I remember back, you know, in the, you know, hustling back in the day in the streets, you know, telling like, look, and tell a young lady like, just look this guy in the eye and smile. Look him in the eyes and smile. If most guys are suckers for, if you look somebody, hey, how you doing? Like,
how big is that?
How big is that?
When was the last time you can honestly say that you went somewhere for service and they looked you in the eye and smiled?
They did. They don't.
You know?
And that could just set you. That would just set someone apart. Because nowadays it's this thing like, okay, we're gonna start getting to some nitty gritty. Like it, you know, nowadays it's this thing like, I think people are so self-important.
There it is.
And that's counter to entrepreneur. Because and when you're an entrepreneur, if you're going to do something great, almost the higher you go, the lower you got to become almost. And so it's like, whatever your idea, if it's not greater than you or bigger than you, then it ain't that big. Because somebody wrapped up in themselves just make a small bundle. We try to sell bundles of bundles and bundles. You know, and so it's like, I see it now with the customer service. You'll go to McDonald's and somebody will help you. And this guy talking like he, like the man. Like, wait a minute, doc. You know, like, you gotta, if you can't be a good soldier, if you don't have if you can't take orders or have humility, it's gonna be hard.
Come on,
let me tell you, some of my people, it's gonna be hard to have success.
Say that,
because the dark days are gonna come. And then, and when things are going very well, for me, I don't know if there's other. It's best to be humble, because somebody that's doing real well, people looking for a way for you to slip.
yeah.
They be like, oh, if you slip, I'm going to tear your butt up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really be mindful and be extra humble, you know, and so that you don't come off as though you're boasting or as though you're, you know, you're arrogant or something like that. Because I've been to businesses and I'm trying to steer away from the customer service, but I do know that the customer service was horrible. They had a great product.
Yes.
But the customer service was so bad, I didn't go back. I just went to one the other day, and now they treated me.
See, I want to just talk about that a little bit.
Come on.
Because when you have employees, that's the other part about customer service.
Okay.
You gotta almost humble yourself to even your employees if you are owning the business, because when you're not there, they're your face. They can tear your whole business down.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You can, like you say, that you at whoever owned the McDonald's, they don't know that their employee is doing that.
But why don't they?
Okay.
People, listen, let me tell you something. This is a phrase I learned that changed my life in a way. Like, people only respect what you inspect.
That's right.
Period.
Okay.
Come on.
How many times would it take for a manager or somebody to do an incognito drive-through and say, I drove past or had my people drive past 4 times. Not one smile, not one look in the eye.
There it is. There it is.
That's poor leadership.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how big you are, you still have to.
You got to have systems in place.
When the
to check
cat's
that.
away, the mice will play. They're not going to have the same vested interest in your business as you. It's
That's
up to
right.
you
That's right.
to be making sure that
That's
smile and that eye contact is taking place. But if you have the same work ethic that they had, you just escalated in position. You may be the manager or supervisor, but at heart you don't have that same work ethic that you would like to see them exemplified, or you would be on top of that. You would know exactly who's getting a smile.
Right.
They teach you that in business school. Like, it comes from the
You
top.
have to
It
follow
starts
up.
from top.
You
Definitely.
have to follow up.
But we got something called servant leadership.
Okay.
You know, where you exhibit to your employees how you want them to exhibit to your customers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, that means I don't gotta act like a boss that come in and just badger you because I'm the boss. I need you to do this, or it's another boss to say, hey, let me help you out real quick. Let me show you doing a good job, but let me show you how this can be even better. And then you help them out somehow.
Okay.
And then they'll be willing to help you out a little bit because, you know, it is a part of it. You know, not that you're supposed to just let your employees do anything.
Right.
I'm just adding to that little part where there's some humbleness in all aspects of business.
Now, that's a good point. Who is the real boss?
The customer.
The customer.
Bam. And see, that's where we lose the contact, like you said. The simple things. When people come in, the smile, acknowledgement, you know, welcoming, that sets the stage. That short window you talked about, that's so important because you have one chance for a first impression. When you say it, the other thing, it all comes full circle. When you say a disgruntled customer is an opportunity for your top customer, because your impression is made from caring enough to rectify the situation, even if it was imaginary in your mind.
Right.
See, because that's the key. But you got to have that in your heart, which means, like when you say, well, if your front line of defense is not on point, it's on the management. Because here, if you don't know that the guy you got at this Family Dollar or at this particular place has his pants sagging, is FaceTiming while 5 seniors stand in line, says nothing to, he's destroying your business. Not just bad.
Violence.
Extreme. I would never go there. Because it comes from the top. If you allow it and you don't know, you're incompetent.
Right.
If your manager's not telling you, they're incompetent. If you're the stockholders, all of them need to be fired because you're not on top of the business. If they don't make money, you won't make money. Let's make it personal. I used to tell my people, I say, look at this. We need this money. So let me talk to something that means something to you. Since you're here for the money, if we don't take care of these people, there's no money.
Right.
The business will go down.
Right.
The business is over.
Right.
And so if you allow it, they destroy it from the inside. A lot of businesses are like that. They treat us so bad, or they're so inconsiderate. Right. And then we start talking about inconsiderate in a me generation, in a me world. So really, they're not inconsiderate. They lack consideration at all. So if you don't think about others, how can I consider you when it's all about me?
If the money goes away from the customer leaving, That's your money.
That's your money.
They'll just as soon go get another job to mess up.
See,
You know?
Right.
that's it. There you go.
But you have to, like you say, you have to stand on
Stand
what your
on.
principles are.
Yes, sir.
How many write-ups do you think or corrections are taking place in these McDonald's and over a smile?
Right.
They're probably like, man, it'd be nice if you smile. Who's
No.
willing to stand on it? Like, no, that's in the rule book.
That's you have to
you
do
provide each customer with a smile. If that's too much for you, maybe this isn't the place for you to work. But a smile is part of this position.
Right.
And you deal with people lovingly how you need to. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? But at the end of the day, you have to take it. If
You gotta
take
hold
it
somebody
serious,
accountable.
if
they
you
not.
don't take it serious,
Right.
it's not going to be no smiles.
There it is.
That's the bottom line.
Accountability is key.
Accountability is key. You be kind, or you be fair. What I learned is, it's like if you're, I had a boss one time I was working at a nursing home, and I feel he was a great boss. And he used to tell me after work, during work, he came off like an SOB.
Right.
And he said, Robert, you know what boss means? And it was something, I can't remember the acronym you used, but say it backwards, something SOB. And that's his belief was, at the end of the day, your employees need to think that you're a such and such SOB.
So they don't try you.
So they don't try you. He said, but you treat everybody fair. Now, what he did, it worked. Now, he did get in a fight with a guy. But it did. He whipped that place into shape. It worked. And I understand what he's saying, because when I went into managing buildings and all of that, and another lesson I got from, I'm shout him out. This my man, I learned so much from him. He was in Vietnam, a man of old type, big, tall, white guy, Mike Apponatis. And he said, the greatest lesson I got in business one time, or just in life, he said, Robert, you going around here chasing these girls around, stuffing this in the closets and stuff like that. and I see you. And he said, but if you keep your nose on your work and your mind on your nose in your work and your mind on your business, everything else just tends to fall into place.
Okay.
And that was some of the wisest advice that I've ever gotten, because it's just true.
Right.
Like if my mind is focused on my business, on what I need to take care of, what I need to do, what I'm called to be, what I'm called to do.
Okay.
And then my nose is in my work. I'm diligent.
Right.
The Bible says the diligent hand makes rich.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So diligence to me is just constant, just consistent,
persistent,
perseverant. Just you could be diligent and just do something 10 minutes a day, but you do it every day.
Right.
It's keeping of the word to yourself. Like a lot of people, success is very simple, and it's just being consistent.
Okay.
Like I had success in school after I just consistently studied
Okay.
after the class every day.
Right.
Like, or I consistently just, next session is chapter 29. I'll read chapter 29 and without any stress. Like I just read through it, just unstressed. Because our minds are brilliant. We can know more. And so I just read it unstressed. Then I try to answer the questions I don't know before the class. Man, I stopped even studying. I was getting all A's and B's. I really wouldn't even study.
Yes. Once you find the formula.
Right. Once
There
you
it
find
is.
the formula
Consistent.
and you're consistent at it, and that's the same way in business. That's kind of like what I think Brother Omar has found. Like he's not offering, and we can, brothers jump in as me. He's not offering in his business a zillion different options. You see what I'm saying? He's seen Chipotle, seen that. He said, man, what's like a high end? You know, because Chipotle is like, it's all right if that's what you want, but what's like a high end? Like, and I'm just going to focus on nachos. That's high end. I'm going to have brisket. I'm going to have these gourmet.
I like that.
Gourmet.
That's
tough.
hey,
You make
that's
me
my
hungry,
man.
dog.
That's what I'm talking about.
Even the chips are handmade. The salsa to the everything is by hand. Everything is cut up. Everything is fresh.
Okay.
Everything is handmade, and that sets it apart where you can charge $20 for a plate and they popping them.
Right.
and they popping them off.
And you can concentrate your inventory,
effort, your inventory, buy in bulk, bigger, and
specialization. I love it.
Yeah, talk about that, Omar.
One of the biggest compliments that we get, and it's probably the compliment that I get that means the most, and we get the most frequently, is these are the best nachos I've ever had.
See, that's what you want to
Right?
hear.
Now nachos essentially is a simple food, right? It's just
Right.
chips, cheese, meat, some toppings.
Right.
And everyone has had nachos billions of times. So what do you do to make something stand out, to make it elevate? That's our tagline, elevated nacho combinations.
Okay.
But when you pour a ton of intention into something small and simple,
Oh,
you know
man,
what I'm
come
saying?
on.
come on.
The pico. I mean, literally, it takes. We take hours just slicing and dicing the tomatoes so we can make the pico fresh.
That's it.
I don't even want to talk. The chip opera. The chips are cut by hand and fried in house, and you get compliments from each. And it's for people will recognize the effort.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? We get compliments from each and every
Excellent.
thing. Some people
Yes.
say, "Man, these chips on the news on Fox 2." The news anchor was like, "What type of chips are these?" He was like, I don't know if y'all have paid attention, but these chips are like people will notice when you go the extra mile.
Yes, sir.
My favorite saying is never crowded on the extra mile.
There it is.
And that's where all the opportunities are.
Right.
That's
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
only, what's the saying? It's plenty of room at the top. It's only crowded at the bottom.
There it is.
That's right. That's
There
right.
it is. Say
And when
that.
you're willing to do what nobody else will do, that sets you apart.
That sets you apart.
And I like some of the other things you were talking about when it came to concentrating your menu. Because I see
Absolutely.
a lot of people doing that now. At first, in the beginning of when we were, years ago, you would have people have so many different variety of different things. You can't even think what you want. But then that spreads you out as a business
Come
owner.
on now.
And I told one of the young
Needlessly
ladies,
spreads you
yeah,
out.
needlessly,
Less
and,
is
all
more.
them SKUs. That's what they call it. You got all these SKUs, but you it's making you run all over the place. I was telling my daughter, I was teaching her about business, and she wanted to go into this. She had a business called Forever Cute, like Forever Cute, and she was selling all this fur stuff. And so I said, listen, this is your first time, so don't do nothing with sizes. Don't sell
Right.
clothes right now. Sell like a purse where it's all the same.
Right.
Sell some fur earrings, things that don't have. You got to have 3 different,
man.
5 different sizes. So if you get one shirt, you got to buy a certain amount of small, certain amount of medium, certain amount of larges. Then you got to, if you get a coat, you got to do the same thing. Now you got all these, and your money is spread out, and you can't really. Consistently, on your first time around, as you grow, you'll see what sells the most, and then, you can kind of concentrate on that.
Being able to get a foothold on your core offerings is so important. You know what I'm saying? I got a fella friend of mine. His restaurant did, I think he said about 650 in sales last year, and he was like, "Man, but I don't have nothing to show for it." Bro has like 70 items on his menu. Seriously,
Right.
Seriously. I mean, he's in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he got there's a French section, an Italian section, burgers. And I'm just like, man, do you
Cut
have
to
any
fat.
idea what type of time and financial effort it requires just to keep all that stuff in stock?
Yeah.
And if you really paid attention to your numbers, you probably 80% of your sales probably only come from 20% of your items. You know the 80-20 rule. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, just being able to really simplify and get a strong hold on your core options.
Yeah.
And then the decision you got to make so many decisions as a business owner. So the
Come on
less
now.
decisions you have to make,
Oh,
the better. We sell nachos in one size. It ain't no small for the kids, no
Right,
large for the it's one.
Come on.
Three get two, you not eat half.
Right.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
Omar say, look, less is more. Some of
Yeah.
this sounds corny, but it's real.
Yeah.
Less is more. Do less things better than most. And you are there. Because if anybody needs these items, I have them and they're the best. And we talk, I've been in a restaurant for 30-some years, country clubs, executive dining rooms, many that I in. So you know about customer service, you know about quality of food. Hey, if they're the owners, they can order all this because it come out of their money. When you start talking about dealing with a clientele, you have to figure out which your clientele is. And if you concentrate, like you say, less inventory, less waste. The waste will kill you and food. The waste will kill you and other items when you got all these showboat items. You got some items on there, but they don't move. So those are lost leaders if they lead.
Right.
Huh? If everybody pays attention to them so they can come to you so I can say you this. I remember one time I did a statue. I did a blue elephant. And I think we was hustling on the street. I wasn't at the Russell Resort before I went there. And we was Greenfield and Puritan and a lot. We raw hustling, selling plants and statues, rhinestone hats and, doing it. Now, what it was, I put a blue elephant out. A lady came over to me and said, "Why'd you paint that elephant blue? Nobody's going to buy that." And then she had a little booth over there. I said, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "But that elephant drove you over here. It's going to draw people in so they can buy the black and gold elephant. This is the one that sells the most." But they don't see this dull black and gold elephant. Yeah. They see that blue elephant. And about an hour later, a lady came in and bought the blue elephant. I went back and told her, somebody bought the blue elephant. But so that's what, like you said, concentration. Same as you said, the young lady that you might have been at odds with is just a reach. But that is where you show up and show out. Is when you run into an obstacle that you solve. You got to be, you have to be a problem solver because problems are immense. Yeah, the solutions are rare.
If you look at me, like I'm in a slim, what could be perceived as a slim niche.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But if you feel if you solve a problem,
yes,
and even me with my offerings, like I'm like I'll slim them down, like but create. Okay, we got in the game, say, okay, $15, $20 hairbrushes, right? And create a margin. But then went to 30, then went to 40, 50. Now we at 60. I want to be at 100. I want to be at 1,000.
Right.
And selling, if I'm popping off $2,000 alligator skin, because but what it comes from is I'm going off something Omar said, is you gotta look at the data. I think a lot of times we get caught up in the run as entrepreneurs where every day we, ain't enough hours in a day, ain't enough, you running and hustling and you got all these different things to do. First we got to learn how to have certain people we trust and have checks and balances in place so that we can maximize our brain power.
Now you're talking.
Like Omar said last week, he said, "Man, I take the week off. I shut the business down." You know what I'm saying? I like, man, that's the wisest thing you can do. Because if an unrested mind will make poor decisions.
Oh, man.
If you got it, and haste makes way. So you'll be unrested. Then, there's somebody put pressure on you. You won't think about it. You make a hasty decision. Uh-oh, baby. You're going to pay. And so I just been like, okay, if I can maximize my offerings, I've done the research, marketing company, people saying, we expect to pay $50. Oh, what was coming back for Crown? Like, that's the high-end brush. That's them high-end, that's them brushes cost a lot. This brush cost a lot. This random people in all demographics.
Right.
Also found out Native Americans are very fond of us. Yeah. Found out that it's a lot of Caucasians upset that we're not selling to them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? One premise for us, I don't know if y'all have ever seen that where they do the thing where they put words. So a word that they only hear a little bit of, it'll be small. A word they hear moderately, it'll be a little bit bigger. And the word they hear a lot of, it is. And it's like, then we get something that's like, well, they're old or whatever. We've been around a long time. Okay. But the greatest data that I found was a price point that was expected to be around $50. We raised our prices on Amazon and stuff like that. I'm selling stuff for $20. Got starting that stuff selling for $26. 30 something now. Popping off even more.
Wow. People respect it.
They respect it. And you got to find out, because you could offer a product that's phenomenal, but if you're selling it too cheap, no one will believe it. If I come in and I say, okay, I got this gold bar, and I sell it to you for $100, man. Or somebody comes on the street, some Cartier glasses, like, oh, you got the Cartier glasses. Are they real? Oh, yeah, they real. They $200. Well, why wouldn't you sell them for $600?
Right.
You can get that just as easily. So you have to do the marketing to find out.
I want to ask you a question about that. So how did you how did you collect your data on that? What did you do? Like look at some of the reviews, or
I paid a marketing firm. What they'll do is I paid a marketing firm, and they via Facebook and some other things, and they'll offer a gift, 10% off or something, or whatever, to not just my business. I guess it's the other business, something they have, and they it's a questionnaire.
Okay, that's good,
get
man.
back all
that's
the
good.
results.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
look,
it.
Look, man, I'm telling you, he got a whole bunch of game for everybody.
Oh yeah,
Because one of the things I learned from Rob, because like we were talking about earlier, when I first got into business, I was always thinking about you get something that you can sell so cheap that everybody can afford, and everybody you will get a bunch of people. But what Rob showed me with his brushes, when he came out with his brushes, and they were like high end, and $25 and $30 for a brush. I'm like, man, I don't know who's gonna pay for that. But when he told me the formula, basically, you put enough margin in there so that you can wholesale to other people, so that they can help sell the brush and they can make money. When you help other people make money, you make money.
Yes.
And so, that was some, so I look, I got my coloring books, storybooks, posters, all my stuff is high end. I got a $20 storybook, a $15 coloring book. I got posters, $15. So, and like you said, I'm thinking about doing one of the market research,
do it.
Getting one of them firms and see, what they think.
And another thing I heard a guy say one time, a master marketer, he was like, look, it's easier to get 20,000 out of somebody that's rich with a trust fund than $20 out of a man that's working hard every day.
That's true.
Right.
9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? A hard labor job.
Offer something high end.
Offer, but what are you offering them? You see what I'm saying? Like, so you increase your offers and you get a higher end clientele, and they end up being more loyal, and it's less people bidding on that type of, like, I found it from when I was hustling the streets. I was trying to sell some Rego weed. I'm not into none of this now, but I was sell some Rego weed. I said, man, it's too tight out here. It's too everybody selling this. It's too slow. And oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna break it down real swift for them. But the point of that story was I started selling gains. I said, man, let me get some gains. I had to get a little girlfriend. She had some hydros or something. I'm not promoting this, but I'm saying from our community, a lot of people, if you got ambition, it wasn't much offered to us. Like our parents, our people around us, they'd be like, go to school, get a job.
Right.
You go to school and they talking this yin yang, and or you can. And they telling you a false history, a false narrative where you at the bottom and or you were a slave and that's where your history began, and and then so you got this low self-esteem. But say you got a fire in you be like, man, I gotta get it. Right. And then so you see the cats getting it, and they, the dope boys, they hustle, they doing it with it. And so you say, if that's what's around you, but as we come up with, that's why our children, we saturate with, like I collect art and I do this and I saturate them with beautiful environments and everything. But to make a long story short, I started selling them cheese. And then that was like, dang, I started doing well, invest everything right back into it, get one, get a couple. What you're saying is, if all the street guys, you're a street guy, a lot of street guys
could be great entrepreneurs.
They could be great entrepreneurs if they had access to other products and services and different things like
if
that.
They saw it.
If they saw enough of it,
Right.
And I like the other thing about what you do. And it's also it was the high end things, and then it was the niche. Okay. That's what we're talking about.
A niche in the pitch.
A niche in the pitch.
All right.
Yeah, the niche, man. Like I always thought you had to be everything and have everything. Like you said, that niche, what we talked about earlier. I use that in everything now. Like I'm just gonna stick with the Hebrew heroes, with the Black Bible characters, Black history, and all those different things. That's my niche. Oh, yes. So you got the nachos. That's your niche. You got the brushes with the curve in it.
Right,
you set aside. That's your niche.
Right.
Then you got what you're doing. That everybody.
Yes.
You got to get a niche, because Of course, there's a billion people that can buy whatever you're selling, but hey, you don't need all 1 billion of them to buy it. You just need that slice. You know what I mean?
And I think that it's really, really, really important that black people understand that, because I think in the black community we have a hustle type mentality, and that hustle type mentality causes us to want to over diversify our efforts, our thoughts, our ideas. You know, my girl, her son. I mean, you know, he got a, you know, he cuts hair. He does tattoos. He wants to, you know, have a vending machine. He wants to, you know, sell sneakers. You know, and I mean, but that's just like exemplary of the black mindset a lot of times when it comes to business. You know, as a business mentor of mine once said, he said, I've never met a jack of all trades millionaire.
There it is. Yeah. Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Say that.
Be focused.
You've never met a jack of all trades millionaire. You know, you know, we want to own 3 businesses and have 4 streams of revenue and income, and having different streams of revenue is good, but
say that
they're all going to be minimal to mediocre at best. If you don't have the time and the focus to concentrate on one thing to make it great.
Right.
Say that. Yes, sir.
Multiple streams
That's
of
what I
income
believe.
tend to flow to people who have one dynamic, great stream of
Right.
income.
Right.
Then you go over to the other stuff.
Now, see,
That's
that,
how I believe.
now that's well received, because like you said, I've seen this too. When you don't know and when you're hungry for success, you say, if I put, it's like fishing. If I put 10 lines in the water, I'll catch something. No, if the silvers are running, you're going to lose 10 rods. You might catch 2, you lose 8, because the fish going to grab your rod and you can't control it. It's almost like octopus entrepreneurship. There's certain people that are in so many things, and I don't begrudge them. Like I say, put as many bricks in your backpack as you can carry. But they're stretched out so thin in multiple directions, it's hard to do good in one. And when one is doing good, like you said, you will drain it. All these other ones will be losing money, taking it from the one that's doing it. You'll never see your money. Because you're making money here, but you won't give this your full undivided attention. You know, like I do metal.
And that comes with discernment.
You have
gotta
to,
have
but
some discernment.
You gotta have
It's going
discernment.
to take that.
It's going to take that.
Make no mistake, it's going to take
Discernment. That's
all
what
of
you
that focus and energy to make one thing great. Trust it.
Like
it is.
what it
There it
is it's faith.
Right.
It's a lack of faith. You say, well, I need this just in case this fall off. I need this.
You don't believe
but if you want the big reward, you're gonna take the big leap.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Yes,
gonna have
sir.
to put it up, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
And so you're gonna have to put your faith on the floor. You know, and so it's like, man, I'm focusing on this. Cause I had talents at a lot of different things, and they would have me off focus. I said, I'm gonna focus on one thing and then do that and then see it all the way through. A lot of people, they'll leave before they'll quit before the miracle happens.
Oh, come on, say that.
It's like you got to see it through to the end. I was tired as a dog when that stuff, when I was doing that, coming out with a breast, that was unheard of. It was unheard of for a Negro to do that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I go to China, they had never seen a Negro. They do that. They was like, we ain't never seen a Negro. I had to convince them to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so it was by the time to come, I said, Lord, I seen it to where it's in a box and the packaging, it's made, it's mass produced. But you do the rest. I can't. And of course, there's still a lot of more work to do. But you know, it did start to take off. And so I want to take another direction real quick, because we want to get into something about business credit. And this is man, I wish I was on the radio live right now. Say, everybody tune in, call somebody up right now. Because we're going to give you some straight boss game. Now, we're not talking about, that's why I got these brothers here. We not brothers they ain't got no time to sit in the studio and meet, really. It took a lot for them to be here. It took a lot to get this together, you know, because they in the field making it happen, and myself included. But we want to give y'all some nuggets, man, and we want to talk about business credit. And I got a couple mentors that I deal with business, you know, I'm telling them, you do exactly what I tell you to do.
Oh, man. Come on now.
And I wish it was somebody. I had nobody. One thing about blacks is we don't want to give nothing away. We want to player hate You know what I'm saying? And do that too much. Like,
the game
brother,
has to be sold. That's all we think.
right. Oh,
Sold,
the game
not
has to be
told.
sold,
That's
not
it.
told.
Sold, not
That's
told.
what we've been
Right.
brought up on. And
Right.
that is garbage.
But let me tell you
Yeah,
what
it
you
is.
really are, brother. When you like that, what you really are is you're kind of feminine and you're a coward. Now I'm gonna talk raw too. You're a coward when you're like that. You're a little feminine and you're a coward because there's plenty of money out here to be made.
To share,
You ain't
yeah.
got to try to bump me or you're trying not to help me. So what I do is I talk with people, and this is real, that I've given them advice and told them what to do, and they become multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
You know, and they all ain't been black either. You know, and so let me start out like that. We want to talk about business credit. I'm gonna let Bill bring it in.
Okay.
But Bill, tell them about business credit. Tell them about how to get a good credit score, and then from there getting your lines of credit and
Yes,
whatnot.
sir.
Right. So I started out before I get my business credit. I got my personal credit together.
Okay.
Because in order to, sometimes in order to walk, you got to crawl. So a lot of people think they can just go straight into business credit just from day one without having anything to back you up.
Myth
So
one debunked.
yeah. Now there are
Right.
ways to do it.
Okay,
There's some
come
people
on.
out there that can teach you, but it's still not going to be overnight, And so the first thing you want to do is get your personal credit together, because a lot of times you may have to be a personal guarantee on something that you're trying to do with your business. If your business hasn't been around for a long time, if your business has not shown that it's been able to have a capacity to handle a credit card or a line of credit, then, you have to do a personal guarantee. I did a personal guarantee when I first got started. And so I got about 2 or 3 businesses now, and I'm getting myself together now to even enhance what I've already gotten. So the banks, believe it or not, if you know how to approach the banks, they'll give you lines of credit. They'll give you 10%, sometimes 20% of whatever your gross income is. And so sometimes they're not even looking at your credit, or the credit line, your score can be low. But if you can show that you got income coming in, you can get a line of credit that way. So it's a lot of things, but your personal credit is very important, but you got to use that in order to get your business credit. You know what I mean? Because you can transfer that personal credit over to a business line when you because you don't want your main credit to be messed up or maxed out. And so I've been through that as well. I've been through getting with real estate. I've renovated entire buildings with my credit card, with personal lines of credit.
Can you tell the people how specifically they would convert their personal credit into a business
Well,
line?
it's like a transfer.
No, Bill, start with somebody, a young person, and they 20, they about to go to college, and they got 0 credit, and they about to get offered a bunch of credit cards.
Right.
What do they do to get that 750, that 800?
Well, if I would have done it, if I would do it all over, because I went in college and messed my stuff up.
You don't know.
What I did was we went in there and we signed up for everything. But it's okay to me right now. I'm gonna get my kids. I want them to get lines of credit, so I make them authorized users on my personal credit cards, so that they'll have those trade lines, because it's all about trade lines, the history of the trade lines, as well as the limits of the trade lines. And so if I was to go into college and tell a young person, but it's so hard, you got to be careful telling them this,
right?
Because they get up in college and get the swiping, because that's what I was doing. I'm like, this is like free money, you know what I mean? I'm swiping, getting fresh, because we ain't had nothing coming from the hood. So I was getting fresh and buying a whole bunch of expensive clothes. But if the disciplined young person can go up there and get a credit card and leave it alone, and use it minimally, and then make sure they pay it off, then it's a good start. But if you got parents or that are responsible, your parents can put you on as authorized users, and their credit will report on their children's credit.
Jump
so
start.
they get a jump start. So they'll come out already with 700 scores if your parents got 700.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Or 800. Man. You know what I mean? So it's a thin line. I don't want to, for young people that's like in college and stuff like that.
But can I say what you told me to do that worked like a mug? Like, okay, what you do is this, and this is why my mentees doing this. You need 3 revolving lines of credit. You need a Visa, a MasterCard, American Express, or a Kohl's card or whatever. you get the cards. Say you start off with one, you don't have no credit. You get a secure card.
Okay.
A secure credit card. You use it to buy some gum or something. You put $2,000 on a secure credit card. Say your credit is bad. Get a secure credit. You buy some gum, pay it off. Don't use it no more. Let it keep reporting zeros. This was what Pastor Bill told me. Don't let it keep reporting zeros. Then you get another card. You know, now say you want to use that card. You don't say the limit is, let's say for easy math, 10,000. You don't use over 30% of that card. So you don't use over 3,000 in a set period. You don't let the balance you owe be more than 30% or whatever your budget on that card is or whatnot. Then once you have that, you have another card. You need another card. What I do is I try to have that card at 0 or at least under 20%. This is going to hyper build your credit, you know, and then you start getting offers like me. You have all type of cards, you know what I'm saying? But I still have cards where I don't use. Say I may have a card that's $7,500 on it, 0 on it. The line of credit. So what you want is when you start having the business, say your expenses a month are $10,000 to $20,000. Even say you have a business, your expenses you're coming out of $30,000, but you may be seeing, you know, only 40 or whatever, and it's starting you're trying to get over that hump, you're trying to turn the tide or whatever like that. That's still good. Get you a American Express or something like that, and use the card to pay your expenses. Right. Have your money going into a bank account, a checking or savings or whatever like that. As soon as possible, get you a line of credit. They don't even they'll do a credit check, but but the business one, like, I don't even know if they can do that.
Yeah, like, it all depends.
So your line of credit, you'll pay back. Say you have a line of credit of $100,000. You use your line of credit money to pay your expenses, and then you pay down your. Is it getting complicated?
That's it. But
your business, you use your line of credit to pay down your business, to pay your business expenses, whether it be shipping, whether it be food or whatever it may be, cleaning service, whatever it may be.
Vehicles.
Right, but you can use your American Express and pay that, and then you use the line of credit to pay your American Express note.
Right.
So everything is in place. So say you start with a $50,000 line of credit. Your note on that $50,000, you only pay 1% to at the most 2% on that line of credit
per month.
Right. So on 50,000, on 100,000, you would pay $1,000 a month.
And so and you know, Rob been blessed, and so he up there now where he had them 50 and 100,000s lines of credit.
Right.
But to some of us that when we first start,
no,
1,000.
No, you tell the truth. You tell the truth.
But when you start out, you know, nobody's gonna have that much confidence in you. Rob been in business doing phenomenal for so long. When he start, a lot of us start really behind. So if you're behind, you got to get what you can get, and that's what we was talking about, that secure credit card, different things like that. And there's so many other things that we could share with you. Like there are ways that you can get your rent to be reported to the credit bureaus. Right. You can get a car that you took over from somebody else and you didn't put no money down. So it's a whole lot of new tricks out here now. But the main thing is you diversify your credit profile. Right. So that means like you want a house note. If you get a house on there, you get a car note. Then you get a three credit cards. So now you got a variety of different credit options in your profile. So that's how you really start to build. And they may start off low. And then, like he said, when back in the day, when we first started, I say don't touch them. Just pay them off and don't touch them. When I first started, I had to get one of those cards where you had a $300 limit, and it was already $175 on it when you got it.
Right.
I went ahead and got it, man, because I couldn't get nothing else.
There it is.
But I paid the thing off, and then I didn't touch it, But nowadays, what they doing now, Rob, if you don't touch it for too long,
they'll cancel you.
They'll cancel it or lower your credit line.
Yeah.
So now what Rob was saying too, what you do is things that you got to buy anyway. Like if you got to buy food, if you have to buy if you got to pay your light bill or all these different things that you have to do,
right?
Go ahead and use your credit card to pay it, and then pay it off with the with your debit card or with real cash, and keep paying that down because you're building your character, your credit character.
Okay.
And those things, and like he said,
like even if you have a $10,000 line of credit, you have a small business and say you're paying $10,000 of bills a month, and you get a $10,000 line of credit or something like that, and you're using that to pay some bills and whatnot. And you can, once you pay your line of credit off, you can ask for an increase. So that's the thing.
Okay.
Like a $100,000 line of credit, $20,000 line of credit really ain't much. If I would have been doing this, if somebody would have just told me instead of, oh, you should use a line of credit. And it's like, then you're looking up a line.
How am I going to get it?
No one's sitting me down and just telling me, and it's just going in one ear out the other. And I'm just like, well, I don't believe in debt. I don't believe in debt.
Okay, right,
and then you start seeing like these people like, how are they growing this business so fast? Because as a brother, you can show exponential growth and not get a loan from a bank.
Oh yeah.
You can show growth, money hand over fist, and still not. I was showing it exponential growth every month and couldn't get a loan. And I said, wait a minute, this is like for sure. And then so it's like you get that line of credit. Now you can finance your own growth of your business, and that's what we need to do. Like you start with 10, you pay that 10 one off, say, man, I want a line of credit of 40.
Right.
They may not give you the 40, but they'll probably give you 25.
There it is.
If you ask for 20, they're gonna give you 15. See, we're giving you, boss. This is the real. So you want to ask for a high amount. I got a line of credit, it was 50, but I asked for, my first line of credit was 50,000. I asked for 75 because and then one thing you want to do is you want to get in good with people at the banks, like the branch manager. She told me what to say. She wrote up she was like, do it like this, do it, ask for this, and you want to get in good with them. And that goes back to what we said first, like just be cordial, take an interest in them. They like swimming, take an interest in swimming.
Right, but
they like this, take an interest in, talk to them.
Relationships,
build businesses. Like a lot of people just buy from you. I said, well, you can buy this product from the company that sells it. Why you want buying it from me? I said, a product we reselling. They said, well, I just want to buy it from you. And it's like, I just like how you do business. I just trust you.
That's who people work with. They deal with those they like. If they don't like you, they won't mess with you. And one thing you said, everybody said about the credit, we didn't know. And, ignorance is no excuse. But we came out, like in college, not knowing anything about credit. And what it is really is this is credit. This is not your money. So use it and pay it back. Use it and pay it back. You'll never have to pay interest on it, and your credit will grow. Simple as that. If you're in dire straits and you mess up everything and you never pay your bills, you're going to screw yourself up for years coming. Right. And then you have to learn how to do it. You need a builder account. You know what I mean? So what it is this. They never tell us all the ins and outs. The ins and outs is they'll tell you can spend 30% and pay it off every month, and they'll give you good credit. If you want excellent credit, they don't want you to use no more than 10%. And then, like you said, I used to take the credit cards and put them in the drawer and keep from using them. But then I need to go out and need to buy some gas with it or something. It needs to work because otherwise they say we make nothing off of you. They do want to make some money.
And I want to just one of my mentors. I got a business mentor. I got a credit mentor.
Right.
That's the other thing. You got to get some mentors.
Yeah, come on,
like
now.
Rob is one of my mentors.
Right. You need those.
He heard me talking and he said, "Look, drop these jewels on them." So he said, "Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. There's certain places you got to go to get these different credit opportunities too. That's a little bit more lenient. They have different tricks to the trade." So he told me to have everybody look up Kickoff, KIKOFF.
Okay.
Check them out. Look up Self Lender. That's SELF Lender, and then look up Credit Strong.
Okay.
And you check them out. And he said when you apply and work with them, your credit score going up 90 points.
What?
Yeah.
Forward
Okay.
to me.
Yeah, I'm for
Yeah,
it.
forward those to me. Hey, forward those to me. Hey,
This is working.
see, one thing is true, and here's how we bring it full circle. In general, we start out talking about customer service. Now, where those skills will take you is this: getting customer service and being cordial with your banker, with the people who you buy supplies from. All these people will afford you the opportunity. Another thing is this: when you're talking about the young people, you know people got to be vigilant and disciplined. A credit card gets you in trouble in a hurry.
That's the thing. It's kind of
See,
is what it is.
And also like this, it gets you in trouble because need more got you.
Yeah.
See, when you're in dire straits, like, hey, your credit's good, something come up, you're going to use the credit card. Do you see your way forward to paying that back by the end of the month? If not, you have to make the minimum payment. But if you max it out, now your credit usage is going to hurt you. Now, it's better to have your credit usage up there for a minute than the default. Okay?
Right.
It's better to have it over 30% and pay it back and get back. You would rather not. If you're going to have good credit, you can't do it. You dig? But you have to be real with yourself about your situation.
Right,
if you're in bad shape, you don't need a credit card. Now, you might think it's a panacea to get you through, but it'll get you deeper in the hole because you're going to take the money you don't have and spend that.
And the thing about credit, you gotta use the card for something that's gonna make you money.
Right.
You can't use a credit card to go buy a bunch of clothes.
Right. No.
I used my credit cards at one point in time. I renovated the entire building. I bought the building, and then I paid for labor and I paid for all the materials using my credit because I ain't had to come out of my pocket. Awesome. And then once I went ahead and got the building together, I went ahead and I was able to rent it out, lease it out, and start a business in there. Yeah. That money that came back, now I pay all that off. You know what I mean? I did it to flip a house. So you get a house, I use credit cards to do all of that, get it all fixed up. Now I flip the house. You know, if I got a house for $65,000, I put about $50,000 in. I used all the credit cards to do that. It was worth $225. So when I flip it, I'm gonna make $100,000. So I pay off the 50, you know, and then it's time to go and do it again. And so it's about what you use your credit cards for. Don't use it. Use it to buy products. Use it to buy stuff that, like, go on Alibaba or wherever you can go. Well, really, we got the plug that's better than Alibaba with Brother Rob. You know, the direct suppliers. You know, you can use credit cards to buy stuff from China. You know what I mean? And you get the products and you go sell it. And when you sell them, you know,
I understand you in passion. I would say whatever you're passionate about, because the game's gonna be so thick for general products. So many people come see so much stuff, and let me dispel all of that right now. Like you'll see all these videos like, oh, you make $1 million a month, a day on Amazon selling generic products. It's gonna collapse if there's any opportunity. It's people scouting all the opportunities. That's gonna collapse on itself. You gotta focus very quickly, and so you have to focus on, you know, something you're passionate about that you would do. That the money is a byproduct of a success or you know, of the love or the passion you put into it. You know, like some people just love working on cars, love how they work. Right. You start a business because you love working on cars. Yep. That passion is going to come through. Come on, you know, Omar cooking and sales. You know, it's just going to come through. Marketing and me with marketing and the love of hair and Bell with real estate. You know, and so it's just like
turn your hobby into a business.
Right. Turn your hobby into a business. What is your passion? What do you love to do? It was something else, a point that I made. Ben said something. Oh man, I lost it. What's going on, son? But what did we were supposed to talk about also?
About sustaining and having the faith.
Oh, I was talking about. I was thinking about. One thing you can do with relationships, and don't think that it's using people or being disingenuous, is I used to do it, and the results are like bananas. Like, you want to grow, son? Do this. Whoever your clientele are, if you're dealing with other business people, like say like Omar, they do these big contracts for like, I don't know if you do GM, but you do so many companies, you probably do. But big companies like that, whoever's the head liaison or something, you get their birthday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Their birthday,
Oh yeah.
they Christmas, and you send them a card.
Right.
You send them a card on their birthday. You send them a little gift, like something that's like, man, I used to do that. I got that from this CD, this tape, Mackey, a master marketer. He said George Bush did it, and that's how he's saying that's how he won his presidency. It's like it just works.
Yes, work. People want to be considered.
It works.
People want to be
if you do it.
remembered.
Yeah.
People want to be appreciated.
Yeah.
See, it goes back. See, here's the thing: what we're doing here, and to make it valuable, like we're doing. See, all these is winners at the table. You know, you gentlemen, I'm proud of each and every one of you. I've seen you for a while. You know what I'm saying? He said 10 years, probably close to 20. He don't want to tell his age. I can't have mine. Hey, check it out. But the one thing about it is this. It's important to talk about business credit. It's important to talk about these. But first and foremost, what we talked about is sustaining it. Everybody thinks it's easy. We've had some bumps and turns, and it ain't over.
Yeah.
It's not over as far as not being successful yet, but it's not over as far as not getting some more bumps in the road.
Yeah.
That's just go with life.
Yeah.
So what it is to prepare for people and to be honest with people. You don't want to tell them to be scared, but if you ain't ready, if you are scared, ain't your time yet. Because if you're scared of losing, you scared of winning, because they go together. When you play a game, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So you're going to get a W or an L.
Man.
They go
See,
together.
that's
I
what
like
kept
that.
me back so
That was
far.
crazy.
Yeah.
Fear. Fear.
Yeah.
When I'm scared of losing, I'm scared of not being successful.
Mr. Ben, you just made me think about Gideon.
Come on
in
now.
the Bible.
Bring
you
it.
know,
Bring
he
it.
he had to go battle against the Amalekites.
Come on.
And it was like thousands of them. And he only had like 30,000 people.
Yes.
And the God told him, you got too many.
Oh,
And
right.
he said, this is how you get rid of the ones that you don't need. He said, ask everybody who's scared. Tell them to go home. You know what I mean?
There it is.
Anybody scared on the team got to go.
Let's go.
I don't need nobody. I get out here. I think I got 30, but I really only got 20.
There it is.
When I get out on the field, I'm looking for you to come be with me, and you standing like that scared, you done let the man stab me in the back. You know what I mean? So God told him, get rid of the ones that didn't want to, that was scared from the beginning. So 10,000 was gone almost, or 20,000, I believe.
Right.
And then next thing you know, he said, okay, now the guys, take them to the water. He said, and look at how they drink their water. He say the ones that bend over and just put their head in the water, don't pay attention to nothing, don't look around their surroundings, and just put their head in the water and drink. Tell them to go home. The ones that put their that get on their knee, bring the water up to their mouth.
Right.
They looking. He say them the ones you want to keep. They smart. They're attentive, and they end up only being 300.
Yeah, it is.
It's from 30,000 to 300, and Gideon had to go. He said he asked God for a sign. God gave him the sign. He said he got to go. So sometimes you just got to go. What God gave you.
Say that.
What God gave you, you got to go with that faith. If God gave you the sign, you got to go.
Come on.
You got to go. And like I said, if you're scared to, lose, you're scared to win.
You're scared to win.
He said you got to leap out on faith.
On
you
faith.
know? And, like you said, but you got to ask for that sign. If you're passionate about it, go. Start off small.
Man,
That's
come on,
true.
bro.
Start off small.
Because that's how you bring it in. That's why what we talk about is relatable. But when we say that here, is I wanted to get to it, is that if you don't practice the rules of sustainability,
Yes.
pay the dues, watch the red flags, the hidden signs, find a mentor, build relationship. We're trying to tell you the things that we've paid dues on,
Right.
that will make you able to sustain, because you can get the credit, you can get the business, you can get the product, and you can go right back out of business if you don't do that. Now you can I mean take pictures. Hey, look, take the pictures, put it on Facebook, get all the bragging rights, get all the women you can pull, get all that, hey, all this artificial women, because to sustain, brothers, that to sustain, you must have certain things in place.
That's right.
Now, getting those, they're crucial, because we've always had a hard time getting money. That's why our descent to the top, or our ascent, is slow. Our acceptability to money. Nobody's told us, and those who had it were too selfish to share with us, because they figured they didn't want nobody up there with them. They didn't want nobody up there with them, even though it's enough money for everybody.
Right.
So we have to let people know, first of all, you have to see if it's in you to do what you have to do. You have to do what is necessary to take care of your core market, because if you can't retain them, you will never make it. You will not succeed. And if you do succeed, it'll be short-lived. And that is it.
Right. Anything that's going to be blessed in the end, it's going to be difficult in the beginning. Like it's
in the middle too.
Hey,
Sometimes
it's going to be ebbs and flows.
Tell the story.
Like Gucci isn't always in style, or it's going to be a new brand, or you know, whatever the brand is, Versace or whatever, this and that. And then they say I remember when people came to me and was like, man, it's all type of knockoffs and this, Rob, man, da 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 da. I said, what am I going to do about it? You know, they said, man, I said, look, Gucci got Louis Vuitton got knockoffs in every gas station.
That's right.
Yeah.
But what separates the real Louis from the fake Louis? And it's like, because how it's made, the detail, the care, or whatever it may be, the rarity of it. You know, so I start coming up with limited edition stuff. And start coming up with, man, you got to pivot in this game.
You got to
stay on your toes.
Man.
You're not going to be able to maintain success or wealth and not, you know, if you got a good thing, please believe that the sharks is coming. The copycats is coming.
Yeah.
If it ain't copy, mean it ain't
doing
no numbers.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep reinventing yourself and keep. What it is you have to stay humble. Like if you start thinking that you the macaroni with the extra cheese and KBD and all of this, then you in for a downfall, because it's always somebody smarter. It's always somebody slicker. It's always somebody that's more that has family with more money or whatever it may be, that's come up better and this and that. But you can always outwork somebody. Hard work and diligence is the great thing to make it even. I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, I just want to get that because Ben made a point, like we do got to, you know, where the rubber meets the road. Like this is what we're giving, because you see a lot of business. I see business nowadays. We're in a time where they be like, they're up to, they got celebrities endorsing. That's one thing I never do is run behind the celebrities. Like because they're just a person. You got to sell to the mass public.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
And so we've had a lot of celebrities we've sold to, but I've seen businesses where they be like, up here. Then 2 years later, like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Spend all the money on that. But see, you see, remember we were talking earlier, and you were saying the overload on the payroll and the situation, how it is, and nobody. See, when you're up there, you don't believe that 6 people can do the work of 10. Now, you shouldn't overwork them, but you should be fair. And if you're fair, you can pay 6 people like you paying 8. And get 10 out to work. You'll be fair to them and fair to you. Say, I'm going to cut 2 of these people. So really you get back. You know, you have to. Because you need to, if you don't have valuable people working for you, why are they working for you? People get people working for them. You know what I mean? They're doing the job of multiple people, but you don't value them enough to sustain that little slot. So you can be concerned with other things. Like you said, if you delegate authority, right, you have more free time to do what's real important. The same as when you're talking about, remember when people were knocking you off. You say, man, Ben, they're getting on me. I say, look, tell them to keep up. Hey, look, pay attention, see how it's done. Remember, keep up. You always innovating and changing. They can't afford to knock off all your stuff. They go broke.
Right.
So you got to worry about, you can spend your money going broke trying to sue them all, or you can watch them try to keep up, because you always recreate. And innovate. So what you gonna knock off next? Follow me. Try to keep up.
And then it becomes more and more obvious, and it brings more attention to your brand and you as the first mover. And now you kind of like, you can make a brand where it's like how I feel like our brand is. It's just kind of like grandfathered in to a certain point.
It.
Like,
That's it.
It's not gonna go out of business. We value.
And the crazy thing about what you had did, man, when you were talking to me about, you was like, man, they'd have knocked me off. And you were trying to get them to come up off of Amazon using the name. They use your exact name in their advertising,
and
all of that stuff. And so when you wrote back to when you had your people get in touch with Amazon, man, it blew me away. The answer that Amazon gave you, it said, man, you were so successful that you created a category. And so you got the category. So now anybody can use that name what was it? What was the curve? What was the
It
name?
it was the
Crown.
right, and call it because it's like
The style, a crown brush.
It's a legal
Crown
term,
brush.
right?
Right,
It's a
so
legal
I made a
term.
crown brush, but I ain't crown.
Yeah, he
Right,
the first person to
right.
come out with the crown brush and called it crown. And now, because it got so popular and it was so successful, it became a category.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
it's a legal term for it. I forget what it. You're right. I forgot all about
Yeah,
that.
I
But
see.
There's so much stuff out here you don't know nothing about.
Man,
Right,
we ignorant.
that can happen. Where say it's like a Xerox.
Mm-hmm.
Xerox is a company, but they would say Xerox meaning make a copy. They
Right,
were like the
Xerox
first mover.
company.
Or Post-it. They tried to a sticky note.
Mm-hmm.
That was somebody using that or Post-it, but it become common.
Mm-hmm.
Where now it's a common. It's that name is
Belongs to
attested to
everybody.
that product. Where the general public
Mm-hmm.
sees it as that they can't sue for them calling it a sticky note or a Post-it or say calling copy Xerox or something.
Like Xerox
it's-
this
if
for
it,
me.
If it becomes so, that was like in the 70s. It becomes so popular,
That
and so it's like whoa,
So yeah,
like
that was
dang,
that was
you know,
crazy.
like-
And I say that to say, the good thing about it, like because you started on the level you started and you made it to a certain level, a lot of places we won't even make it to, so that we can see all the opposition.
Right,
You don't even know what's
right,
coming.
Oh, I got a
right.
story
You
about
know?
Right,
that.
So,
right.
so somebody got to go first.
That's right.
And get knocked all upside the head.
Let me
And
tell
then
y'all a quick
tell us
story,
what
and
to do.
I'm-
So
and
we'll, you know.
I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story, an inside story, and then I'm gonna get Omar to get talking. And like, it's I said I'm gonna create this commercial. God gave me a vision for this commercial, and it was on me to do it too. You know, the Lord was like, I said, well, Lord, if you want me to make this commercial, send a sign tomorrow that somebody called at this time. And they be like, and that right at the right time. I said, well, maybe it was one to the Lord. I said, Lord, if you want me to make this commercial, then do this, because commercial gonna cost to do
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I was like, and we didn't need it at the time. And I was like, well, no. And then he said, no, you got to do. I talked to my guy T that works with me, and he's a saved guy. He's like, Lord say do it. We got to do. We fear the Lord. If we don't do it, He gonna tear us out the frame. And then so I said, yeah, we got to do it. And then so we did the commercial, and then I said, okay, we'll make this phenomenal commercial. First guy, he got over on me, ripped me off about 24,000. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say how it was done. I just was ignorant.
Right,
You know,
right,
eager
right.
money is gonna get taken right out your pocket. Somebody you
Yeah.
eager. I had a supplier
got you,
reneged.
got you.
I went to China. I said, man, I had like $20,000. I said, man, I'm about to spend this. Man, I'm about to get all these units and this and that. Da, 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 da. They seen how eager I was. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And
Got
it was
you.
like, and I wasn't as prudent as I was. Got the money right up. Reneged on 34,000 units, man. I ain't never get the rest of all my money back either. Setback.
You paid the dues.
I paid
you
the
learned
dues.
the
I learned the
lessons.
lesson.
Now you can share it at the table.
But with the, right, I can share at the table. And the commercial,
That's
we
weird.
made the commercial. I had to remake it again, spent some more money. Brought my brother in this time. He shoots out in L.A. and he's a film director or whatnot. And then so he come in. We make the commercial, cost money. And so now you got to get the commercial played.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to a company and you got to be in the end to know this or whatever. And I want to play it on all the cable. I talked to somebody and said, well, you could be playing on the cable channels like BET and this and that. Da, da, da. I said, oh, we're going to launch this commercial. It's going to be so strong and powerful for blacks. It's so invigorating.
right.
This. He was like, how come these rappers ain't just, you want to make a big change. You got all this money. How come not just have a commercial showing us in a great prowess and kings and queens and sisters and strong and this and that? Got all these millions and zillions of dollars. Why not do that? And it's like, then you get to find out. So they said, oh, it'll be, 20,000 for this many segments. Okay, we got the 20,000. Well, actually, it's going to be 30,000. Okay, we got that. Then they come back again.
Oh, they block you.
No, you got to spend 60,000 or whatever. You say, you know what, Lord, told me I'm gonna do it. I got 60, and then they say, okay, we gonna have it for this slot and this slot. You keep getting bumped, keep getting bumped, keep getting bumped. The commercial getting bumped, whatever. Oh, another company. Oh, this and that. And at the end of the day, man, a lady was like, I don't even know how y'all got this far. Like,
see, but you see,
you will hit the glass ceiling.
yeah,
like,
yes,
it is controlled.
Wow.
You're not. I don't care how much money you can try to pay your way. You're not going to show some super duper positive black imagery
you did.
unless it's a company that is in their crew or whatever, in the status quo.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I had Goldfinger tried it too. At the same, he said, "Rob, remember when you told me about that?" And he had a backer. They did the same thing, 20. Then they said 40. Then it was like,
everybody
the
trying
backer
to
was
scam.
like that. And it's not a scam. They trying to price you out.
Right.
And then you
Yes.
say, you know what, I got it.
You say no. You say forget it.
okay.
They
They
didn't
want you
block
to
you.
stop.
I'm gonna let you in. I'm just gonna tax you now. You get to a certain way, I might let you
and
in.
I'ma keep
But
taxing.
usually you're gonna get frustrated and say, I ain't
You'll
messing
get
with y'all.
frustrated. It was so difficult that once we got it on the schedule, it still kept getting bumped. It ended up airing just one time. And this was a 30-second commercial. It's a long commercial for commercials. And this was like, at 2 a.m. or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we try to pay, and they wouldn't do it. So you do hit a ceiling that you be wondering why that we don't just bombard. It's an image battle. Let's not be silly.
Yeah.
And let's just bombard our youth with positive images.
That's it. That's
Strong
it.
black positive images.
That don't
via
work.
commercials. But you can't just do it. I found that out.
Who is that brother that has all those media outlets?
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen.
Yeah. I'm talking about, and he's from this area. But anyway, what's so deep about, like you said, they are obstacles, unforeseen and visible. And so you have to be, you got to be vigilant.
Yeah.
Business is not for the faint of heart. Many sleepless nights, stress, you're going to look like a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
to
right,
you. Maybe
right.
not really to others.
Hey,
because you're going to take chances. A lot of
look like
people
a
are
fool.
scared to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
To everybody.
Right.
They talk about you like a dog.
family,
I say to
strangers.
everybody, not have,
Yeah.
especially your family and closest people too. You're going to do what?
Right.
You're going to do this. You're going to do that.
Right.
The same as you use your credit card. That's walking by faith. But what you have to tell somebody, Robert Townsend did it, made
That's
a
what I was
movie
thinking, Robert
and got
Townsend.
up there. But the majority won't because you overspend yourself without knowing what you're going to do after you make the movie. What you're going to do after you redo that building. Because if you can't turn that into money in a timely matter, you're going to be in trouble.
That's right.
See, but I'm saying your plan was farther than that. And that's what we have to share. You knew that I'm going to fix this and then I'm going to do this and this and this. You need to have some plans in place. You dig? I've had, I've been through a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
They haven't stopped coming. I called them and told them to go somewhere else, but they don't listen to me.
And as you can see, and you know what, as we can see, and I hope the people listening, no matter what level you get to, it's always going to be some problems. And so you got to have faith and you got to have consistency in your mind to always get up and keep going because it ain't going to be easy. I know it looked like that on Instagram and all that stuff, but everything ain't easy, and no matter how high you get. And that's why good that Brother Rob is here to show us, because some of us never reached that part. I know some other brothers and some other sisters that done got up there as well, and they'll tell you to sit. They'll have the same testimony. It is not easy every day, but you know what I mean. You got good days, but you gonna have some bad ones too. So
Roy said it best, man. He said, "Man, if people knew what I went through to get here, they would never."
They would do.
Yeah.
That goes back.
Royce.
So we just
Royce
right.
5'9".
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But that goes
people knew
back.
what I had to do to get here. They never hate on me. It's so easy to hate on
Right.
somebody.
Man, come on.
That's
when
Come
you,
on.
You don't see the whole package, but he's
Right.
like, man, but all my haters, if you knew what I had to do to get here,
Man,
you
come
would
on.
never be able to.
Just
get
like
here.
That's so true.
Just like what you said.
Yeah.
What you said, the guys will see you after you've got some of the trappings that you work for. After you got some of the trappings you have worked for, they'll say, how do I get where you... They don't want to go through what you went through. They want to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I want to say. I'm going to make it short. To those in business, there are certain businesses never make over 100,000 a year, but they're successful, they're happy, they don't have to go any farther. If they can manage what it is, they've created their own job. They don't need a box. So don't think you have to be a multi-millionaire to
That's
be
so true.
successful. You're able to pay your bills, send your kids to college, do what you do, live happily, work for yourself, be
Right.
your
Work
own
for
boss,
yourself.
Yeah.
pay your bills, and don't always be on the negative side, because the growth
Yeah.
has to be exponentially. You do a lot lot of things. We spend a lot of money at the end of you say, what? I don't have no. Hold it, I spent.
Yeah.
I guess
Yes.
I guess the topic for the next
Yes,
one
sir.
will be then the difference between owning a business
Mm-hmm.
and owning your job.
Amen. Yeah, we want to get
Make
over
no
that.
mistake,
Say that.
I own my job. I'm trying to own my business. I know
That's
it's
right.
It is running 100% autonomously. Of the oversight and the leadership still be there, but I'm trying to get to the point where I
My
do
man.
not have to work in my business.
Right.
I
Me
just
too.
want to work
We
on
can
my
hire-
business.
we can
There
hire
it
a whole
is.
bunch
There
of
it is
people.
on
Yeah.
my.
Still,
Bring
That's a
that.
whole nother. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother.
Then we didn't get
Yeah.
we didn't get
I
a
love
chance to
that.
talk about investing.
It's
You
so
know, I
much.
want
Oh
you to get-
yeah. We got to talk about what you do with your money once you get it.
Right, because I
Gotta-
got some tips
yeah.
on that.
Okay, well, we definitely gonna get back and do this again, man.
Well,
I'm so
I
happy to
appreciate
see,
it. Man, I enjoy
brother
it.
Ben.
I'm honored.
Hey man, it's
I'm
a
honored.
blessing to
I'm
have
humble.
you.
I'm
Blessed
humble.
to see you. Blessed to have Omar,
Thank you,
and of
brother.
course, a
Bless.
blessing to have my boy
My
Rob.
boy
man.
Rob, yeah.
having
I'm
us
just happy
here.
to be here, man. So,
Well, it's been a
so
blessing.
look, we're gonna come back and do this again real soon,
Yes,
man.
sir.
And we're gonna talk
I'm
about
ready.
the investing part and how to start scaling. So we
Right.
can have some employees, and we don't have to be being a one man show, or
Oh, man.
two man show.
You
so
gotta
that's
delegate.
you gotta So it's a strategy and all that. So thanks again, y'all.
It's been beautiful. Yes, sir.
All right, back.
Oh, man, thank
Yes,
you, man.
sir. My man. Oh, it's always a pleasure.
Boy, Vel right there. I gotta introduce y'all to Vel, man.
Oh, I thought you said Bill.
Thought you was Bill. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey,
That
that's
was good, man. That was
yeah.
good.
That was good.
Yes, sir.
It's so much we could talk about.
Yeah,
It
I
could
mean
go-
that's the good thing about a podcast.